only the Sharks who had a mascot.
15, Tim Lloyd. 18, Jared Green. 19, Aaron Neal. 20, Josh McDade. 21, Madison Silva, Moran, Gomez. 25, Jack Berry.
Good afternoon and welcome back to our coverage of the English Handball National Cup Finals weekend. We're into the second quarter of our handball marathon here, and I am joined by GB International, former Olympian and under-20 coach of the English team. We have Mark Hawkins. How are you, Mark?
I'm good, Chris. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
And so we have Mark subbing in for the next two games, and they are the under-19 finals, starting off with the men, and we have a northwest of England derby between Northeast Manchester Hawks and Warrington Wolves. Two teams that have a fierce and probably friendly rivalry at all levels, but probably the game that most people are looking forward to today, I would say.
I think so, yeah. One of the bigger games of the day, like you say. Played in the senior final against each other last year. I've had a lot of competition with each other in the junior ranks as well. A couple of close games this season, so it should be an exciting final.
And we have the NEM Hawks also in the men's final tomorrow evening, and a vast majority of the players on show today will be playing in that men's final today, which says a lot, or tomorrow, which says a lot about the quality of this side. Also for Warrington, who are always in amongst the top teams in the men's Premier League, and they're pretty much the same squad as well. It's been a very young squad for Warrington this season.
That's right, young squad for both clubs. Both had success in the national finals and in the cups and the leagues, and like I said, yeah, both played the final last year. A lot of good young British talent on show, which is pleasing for me as a national team coach, definitely.
Yeah, well, maybe you can tell us a bit about that, because you have, as part of the under-20 national team, you have players from both squads here. Could you tell us one or two players from each team to look out for today?
Sure, yeah. With the Manchester Hawks, NEM Hawks, playmaker Josh McDade wearing number 10, be in control of the game. Goalkeeper Jared James, number 18. And then we've got Charlie Fletcher and Jack Berry wearing 25 and 29 for NEM Hawks. And then for Warrington as well, Nate Green also wearing number 29. Ed Irving wearing 27 will play left back and left wing. So pleasing for me to see. I think it's going to be a very close one. I think you could see some of these players stepping up and deciding a few crucial moments. But it's going to be certainly interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to finding out what happens.
One player who stood out for me in the warm-up is Warrington's number 17, Yabila Collins, who, to put it in search of a nicer word, he's a beast of a guy for an under-19. Do you think you would give them, because also Nate Green, the left-back, is also a very big physical player. Do they have a bit of a physical advantage here when it comes to defence?
It looks like it on the face of it. I think that could be one of the keys to the game. Warrington's defence against NEM Hawks' attack. The three backcourt players I mentioned, Charlie, Josh and Jack, have played together for a long time, so have a good rhythm together. But as you say, Warrington have got a big physical defence that if that's on song, it's going to be tough to get round, tough to get through.
Well, earlier on in the season in the regional league, we had the NEM Hawks coming out on top. They beat Warrington once and the teams drew another time. NEM Hawks are also going for their third consecutive title at this level. They beat Carshalton last year, so at least in the form book in that sense, they are slight favourites. But the Hawks beat Ealing in their quarter-final. They beat them very convincingly, 25-13, and then beat Carshalton again in the semi-final, 22-17. Guess you had a bit of involvement in that game. You're a Carshalton man yourself.
I am, yeah. I've been here for the last 2 years, in fact, in the cup finals against NEM Hawks, and lost both in extra time. So a couple of painful memories there, but very good games, and I'm expecting to see some quality here. Like we said, quite a few of the guys have played in the last two finals, so maybe with the Hawks side they got a little bit more finals experience at this level. tough one to call.
And we'll see, and we're just about to begin, and it's Warrington in the all-black kit who had a bit of a false start there, in fact. Looks like we're almost ready to begin, but it will be Warrington in the all-black kit, attacking, as you see on your screen, from left to right, and the NEM Hawks in the yellow shirts and black shorts defending what looks like it's going to be a 5-1 defense to begin, and this time we're really off. And the teams exchange pleasantries for the first and last time, I think, in this game. And you can see straight away that there's man-on-man marking on one of the men we picked out at the beginning of the game as a big threat, so a big statement of intent there from the Hawks.
Certainly, yeah, setting their stall out early.
He's got a bit of space now, and they play it into the centre. See if they can get some pace here, and there's really aggressive defense from the Hawks. That's a great start for them. Long-range shot, easy for the keeper to take. And they get the benefit of the doubt from the referee, and a fast break opportunity now if they can find it down the left. There's a 3-on-2 there. They decide to slow it down and start 6-on-6. Poor pass there off the foot. Bit of a nervy start for both sides, you'd say, trying to feel each other out.
Looks like it, yeah, a bit of a nervy start, like you say. Big game for a lot of these players, and especially more so on the Warrington side, maybe the first time they played in a final like this.
Comes in from the right wing, and there's our first goal of the game, and it comes from a right-hander on the right wing as well.
Michael Korf also plays as a line player.
Very flexible boy, yeah?
Good finish to start off the game. That'll give him some confidence early on.
There's our first goal of the game for Warrington. And the Hawks just need to settle down, get a feel for the ball, and get their first real shot off here. Moving the ball nicely, but intercepted. Fast break opportunity again for Warrington, and that's 2-0. Good start for the boys from Warrington. Strong defense from them, but they're not really coming out to force the issue. They're allowing the Hawks to come at them, and then in that occasion stole the ball.
Yeah, Hawks have started here with 4 backcourt players, which is quite interesting. It suits maybe the players they got on show at the moment, but the 5-1 defence is causing him a little bit of problems, splitting the court in half.
Usually if you have a 5-1 defence, you want a line player in there breaking it up. Another shot from the right wing, and that's 2 out of 2 for the line player, turn right wing, Michael Korf.
Finding a lot of space on the right wing there. 2 good finishes.
Very useful to have a right-handed right wing who can actually finish like that. And you think that the Hawks are actually giving him a bit too much space because he's a right-hander?
Could be, yeah. They seem to come a cropper there. Interesting, they've now switched back to having a line player in attack.
And there's the first goal of the game. And that's important to settle things down for the Hawks. And they make it 3-1 as we come up to the 3rd minute mark. So both teams now on the scoreboard. And plenty of physicality, plenty of speed. Very, very quick game so far. You can tell that both of these sides are full of athleticism. Ball into the line there. First chance of the game for Collins, but he can't get a hand in it. Fast break opportunity for the Hawks, and that's going to be a penalty, I think. No, attacking foul. Not so sure about that. Looks like it was inside defending, but we are on the other side of the court. It's hard to tell. Referee saw it better than we did. Long range shot comes in wide to the left. And yeah, a bit of a let-off for Warrington there, I think, in that attack. Shot comes in from the right back, flies over the top. They're not wasting any time in attack here, both teams. We'll see if they can keep it up for 60 minutes. Ball out to the left-hand side, plenty of space, and that's put away. Easy, as you like, with the number 27, Ed Irving. Man, you pointed out, be playing left back and left wing. Starts in the left wing here, with Nate Green getting the nod at left back. With plenty of space for him, and he makes it 4-1 to the Wolves. Surprising start?
Surprising start a little bit, yeah. I think Wolves have just settled into the game a little bit quicker. It's one of those where you can see all the players are really excited. They're really up for this, and it's just everyone's trying to get their tackles in, everyone's trying to get their shots in, and going at 100 miles an hour at the moment. I think they'll settle into the game shortly, and we'll have a little bit more composed play from some of the players.
Ball into Fletcher, he finds the left wing, get a bit of space there for the shot, and he buries it just under the crossbar. It's in for Harry Thorpe, cuts the deficit to 2. And as you mentioned there, a bit more settled play already from the Hawks, just as you mentioned it.
Yeah, better play there, good rhythm in the attack, and they're able to find the open chance on the left wing.
Almost an interception there, but still a Warrington ball. Space on the right-hand side for the shot, and this time the keeper is equal to it. Third time lucky from the right wing. Jared James gets his first big save of the day.
That'll settle him down, give him some confidence.
Intercepted, he'll have another chance here to make a name for himself if they get the shot off. Referee says it's inside, no foul there. Good defending, good pressure, but not too much pressure on the attacking player. The referee gave him the benefit of the doubt as well. The referee is allowing the defenders to get physical, particularly with the fast breaks.
It seems so far. They've had a couple go that could have gone to the attackers, both gone the defensive way.
Oh, that's off the other side. At the bottom of the post, fast break chance now for Warrington. Plays out to the left, but not enough on it. They get lucky there. As the Hawks just bring it out of play, a chance for Warrington now to settle things down. Come up to 6 minutes played, 6 goals already. Plenty of pace on both teams, and now I think they'll start to settle things down, try to set up some set plays, and use that line player, Collins. There he is on the ball, plays it off with the line switch. Shot comes in from the centre, wide to the right. Oh, and just tipped away. Great counter-attacking option now for Warrington if they can get their wheels going. Almost loses it there, and they'll settle things down once again.
Both teams, I think, realising now they need to take the pace out of the game a little bit, cut down the mistakes and try and get some good attacks. Lots of players into the game.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. The Sebi-esque breaks through. And he makes it 5-2. Recycling the play, the Hawks, the space there on the right-hand side if they can find the man, but the pass isn't great. Referees give it inside. And Warrington take it away again. Ball out to the left-hand side, going 1-against-1. They're very confident in these 1-against-1s. The backcourt players happy to take on the defence. That shot, though, he was on his way back, wasn't advised, and the Hawks take it away. Goes, oh, beautiful ball into the line and found into the bottom corner. That's excellent handball. Through 2 defenders with him and just flicked it off into the line, and that's very, very important for the Hawks. That'll settle them down as well. Nice bit of play like that. Excellent
pass from Josh there. Really, really good play, Josh McDade. And if he finds his feet and starts pulling the strings like that, he'll be a tough player to stop.
That was his first real opportunity to show what he's got in this final. Plenty of space, way too much space there. The keeper gets a touch on it, but a bit of miscommunication there between the right-hand side, the 1 and 2, and the Hawks defense. And for McDade, we'll see how he can do against this 5-1 defense. Again, brilliant assist. That's all they need to do all day, really, if they can beat the first man and set up that pass. I think what has impressed me in these opening 8 minutes is that they do things very, very well, the basics, and it's something that in the first game today, the Shield final, you saw teams try to overcomplicate it a bit, but couldn't really pass the ball all the way across. You know, when they can open it up and just play the smart, fast balls like these 2 teams are doing here, it's so much more impressive, and really works a lot better than trying overcomplicated switches and moves off the ball.
That's right, we've got 2 fundamentally very sound teams here. We've seen just in the last couple of minutes now, Josh McDade taking over a little bit, playing 1-against-1 and drawing the first man has given Hawks a little bit more space in attack, as opposed to the Hamza Race at the top of the defence has caused them a lot of problems early on.
And McDade there broke through, and looks like he's winded Collins a bit there, which is good going, I'd say. He's not a man who goes down easily. Yeah, Bila Collins.
Her physio's on, but
like he's all right now.
He won't be on for long yet.
That's good.
It'll take more than that to keep him down, I think.
I think that's the first time we've seen the floor wipers actually in use today as well. As I mentioned at the top of the show, this is our third game of the day here on YouTube. We have the women's under-19 final coming up at 17:30 between Stroud and Olympia Cannock. And Stroud, who are also in the under-16 final tomorrow, and pretty much the same squad, which is a similar case to these two teams. As we see a foul given away there. And so it's a real good sign that youth handball is really taking off in England at the moment, and these teams are not just competing at their own age groups but also competing at age groups above them.
I don't think it's much surprise that a lot of these guys are playing senior handball and they've ended up in the final of this competition. It's a really good showpiece event, and it's a good showcase that we were able to show these young players playing on such a level.
Oh, that's a beautiful spin shot, beautiful piece of play. Ed Irving again, looking very comfortable out in the left wing. Scored a nice fast break earlier in there, showing a touch of finesse to poke that one past the keeper.
He's been the real benefactor so far of the Hawks team, trying to man-mark Nate Green, who's shifted to the left wing, but they've gone with him and left that space in between the wing defender and the number 2 defender, and Ed's done a great job of I think that's his second or third goal through that gap now.
Do you think Ryan Goodwin, the coach, will start to reconsider whether man-marking one of the multiple threats they have is a good idea?
It might be something that comes. They're going to have to try a few things through the course of the game. I wouldn't expect he's going to keep it with it for 60 minutes.
The heavy collision there. The defense, very strong defensive start for Warrington, particularly with that man as we see him again. Collins taking no prisoners in defense. And it's such an asset to have, particularly at this age group. Long ball out to the left, and that's no good. Went for the near post. Couldn't get it past the keeper. Warrington come flying down the court again, and it's that boy, Ed Irving.
After a really fast start, Ed, 4th goal of the game out of 9 for Warrington now.
And you can see the Hawks boys, they were strolling back a bit there, maybe a bit disheartened with that attack, but Warrington just relentless on the fast break of the counter-attack. And they cannot afford to stroll back against these guys.
No, they can't. Warrington set that standard at senior level as well and junior level. They're quick up the court and...
Again, try what they tried before. They will start, reset again. Need a moment to settle things down. They don't need to rush it in attack. They've got plenty of time. But at the moment, going for the basic moves and reverting a bit because of the situation they're in. 5 goals down early on here. Just coming up to 12 minutes played.
It's a suffocating defence from Warrington at the moment with Collins in the middle there. He's able to defend such an area that Nate Green and Sebi Hess beside him are able to push wider and wider and really give Hawks some problems.
Long range shot there, blocked on the way through, and again the wave of Warrington players move up this time a bit slower. Nate Green injects a bit of pace into it and he makes his mark. Man marked out of it for most of this game so far, but once he got a head of steam going, there is no stopping him.
He'll be pleased to get on the score sheet now. His first shot was probably a little bit of frustration not being in the game so far, and I think he's been keen to push on for that.
There's our first timeout of the game called by Ryan Goodwin, and I think it's come at a good time. The score after just 12.5 minutes of this men's under-19 final, it's Warrington Wolves 10, NEM Hawks 4. And based on recent form and the last couple of years, as we mentioned, Hawks are maybe a bit of the favourites coming into it on paper, but Warrington Wolves tearing up the form book.
They've started the game very well, strong in defence, and they've caused Hawks some problems and probably pushed them out of their comfort zone a little bit and been able to punish them on the fast break.
Some of the players you mentioned before the game from the Hawks, says to me that they have threats all around the backcourt and also on the wing, but at the moment they're very much relying on individual actions, and it's something you see when teams start to get a bit worried, or players, particularly at this age, because they aren't that experienced. They are playing in the men's league, but when it's such a big game and there's a lot on the line, a lot of pride on the line as well, once you find yourself 5 or 6 goals, then you start to revert to the shots that you're most comfortable with, and then they're the kind of shots and the actions that the opposing team know you're going to take.
Definitely, that's right. I think we can see that so far, that 2 of the Hawks goals have come from the good team play. They've been able to spread the ball around a little bit more, and it's evident where the better play is coming from, because it's bringing the goals. The individual actions haven't given them a great deal of success so far.
We'll see whether Ryan Goodwin and Donna Hankinson could inject a bit of calm into the team now. I'm pretty sure that was the focus of that team talk, to chill out a bit. There's a long way left in this game, and they can just have to rely on their teamwork. And already there, that's a lot better. That's going to be a penalty. The referees waited to see whether he get a shot off, but give the penalty. And it's very basic stuff. They just played the correct pass, going in between the gap at the right time.
A little bit of speed, a little bit of pressure.
So it's Harry Thorpe stepping up to take the penalty. And he goes for it straight away and sneaks it in off the post. The keeper got a touch to it. That's important for him and important for the Hawks. They've cut the gap down to 5. And that's a turnover there. The ball went out of play. The referees have now called it. That's exactly what they would have wanted after that timeout. A quick goal, quick turnover, and a chance now to get themselves really back into the game.
Yeah, do their confidence a bit of good to cut it down to 4 and just slowly edge that gap down before half-time.
The Hawks get going again with McDade in the centre. He fakes a pass, but the pass is no good. Put too much emphasis on the shimmy. And the Wolves taking away the space on the right-hand side. He does find the right-hand side, and it's a save. Rebound was taken by Collins, but the referee said it was a foul. Important save there for the Hawks, particularly against that man Corf, who had a lot of success early on. And down the other end, shot comes flying in, and the gap is down to 4 goals as we approach the halfway mark in the first half.
I think if we're to see Hawks come back into this and be more and more successful, we'll see a little bit more from Jack Berry in that position. He's big, strong boy, tall boy, left-hander out on the side there, and he's got a good shot when he comes in at speed like that.
He doesn't need an invite as well. He's happy to take the shot, and when he got that space, why not? It's going to be a corner throw. Hesk plays it into the centre. Rice in the centre now, plays it off to the right-hand side. Long-range shot, you can see that coming a mile away. And they'll set it up again, another corner throw for Hesk. And he's got the ball now, and he puts it away. Good decision from the coach there to bring in a left-hander. They saw it didn't work for Corf the last couple of times, and Hesk, who's more of a right-back really, right? He took his chance from the wing though.
Yeah, he's played both right back and right wing, plays a little bit more right wing with the senior team, as I understand. Good finish there. I think they looked to man mark him a little bit in attack there, Hawks there, but just fell asleep off the corner pass and gave him a chance to shoot again from the wing.
It's a 5-goal lead now as we're just past the halfway mark of this first half in the men's under-19 final here in Derby Arena. The 3rd game of the day, and we've got 4 more coming up tomorrow as well, including the men's and the women's National Cup finals. The men's cup final will feature the Hawks, which will be pretty much the same team, added in a few more, including their coach Ryan Goodwin, against London GD. That and the women's final will be live on the BBC Sport website tomorrow, and we'll be here to bring it for you. And just head over to the England Handball website or any of the social media channels to find out more information on that. Hawks in attack, they've got a bit more space. They find the line as well, but held up very well by the defenders. A warning there, which is pretty good going after 16 minutes to get a warning.
Especially with the physicality they've had in defence so far.
Despite all the physicality, there's not been too many punishments. McDade now, he gets a bit of space, and that is going to be a penalty, I think. And there's a 2-minute suspension. We hear commentators as soon as we said it, no penalty though, just a free throw. It's hard to say whether he was standing inside defending or not, but it was definitely rough enough to earn the 2-minute suspension, and it is a penalty in fact. So we have Harry Thorpe stepping up for the penalty again. He fakes it once this time, saved by the keeper, and that's a very good save. He wasn't fazed by the fake at all, and the shot came straight at him, lifted the left leg. Looks like he felt the impact of it, but he'll be happy with that anyway. Space on the left-hand side again for the shot. This time a penalty call for the push. And again, a bit too much space on that left-hand side. They're focusing the defense very centrally, the Hawks, which has been punished a few times.
It's our man Ed Irving again over there in that space on the just inside the left wing there.
Yeah, Nate Green can whip one in, and he does in the bottom left-hand corner. And that's double scores now. 12 for Warrington Wolves, 6 for the Hawks. Still early days here yet, over 40 minutes left to play, but Warrington have consolidated the early lead they built up here. They haven't let the Hawks do too much in terms of cutting the deficit, and that's a big save off the underside of the crossbar. A couple of big saves there for Warrington in succession, and this aggressive defense is being torn apart, and it's another goal this time for Nate Green. He's got himself free, and he really relishes the chance to just whip those balls in once he gets a shot. Such a powerful player, and that time left his marker for dead.
Bill Bailey will be very happy with how the 2-minute suspension has gone. A big save from the penalty, and then another big save on what was a very good 6v5 attack, but big save.
You couldn't ask for much more in the end, really. An attacker foul called by the referee. And a fast break opportunity. There's a man waiting in the right-hand side, but it's a bit too much mustard in that one. And the Hawks take it away. It's been a few minutes for them without a goal now. A couple of big saves have denied them. What can they do here with the right-hander in the right wing? Oh, not collected by Nate Green, and Hawks get it back again. A bit of a let-off for them. And they go again. The space there, and that's going to be a penalty. Another 2-minute suspension, perhaps? Yes, it is. 2 in quick succession. And that's the flip side of having such a big physical player, that in handball you can be physical to an extent, but do it too often and you're in foul trouble now, basically. 2-minute suspensions. He's only got one of them left.
And that could be a big turning point in the game. As you just said, there's over 40 minutes to go. We're early days here, and if
oh, that's a second big save against the same man again. Harry Thorpe was brave enough to step up and take the penalty despite missing the last one, but that's 2 saves in a row now from the penalty line.
Hawks will be hoping to make better use of this 2-minute suspension, but as I was just saying, it could be a big turning point now if they're not able to use Collins for parts of the game, because he's been a big factor so far.
Ball out to the left wing, plenty of space there, get the shot away right over the keeper's head, and that'll help his confidence a lot. Harry Thorpe, after missing 2 penalties in a row, he puts that one away from the left wing, cuts the gap down to 6. And Hawks going for that aggressive defense, but a spin shot was seen a mile away, but a penalty is given. And Sebi Hesk was having a man dragging out of him as he took the shot. Thorpe let him slip by, and he gets himself a 2-minute suspension for his effort. And it's Nate Green who will step up to take the penalty again. Perfect from the penalty line so far. He fakes it once. Oh, off the underside of the crossbar. Does he get the rebound? He does get the rebound. Tips it over the goalkeeper. Great composure to see the rebound coming. Somehow managed not to land in the circle before tipping it over the keeper's head.
He did well there to finish that off. Jared James in goal probably doesn't look too happy with himself after chasing the ball down, but tough one as a goalkeeper.
A very open court at the moment as we have 5-on-5 for the next 23 seconds. Plenty of space for McDade to work into. Plays it off. Shot straight away, but it's blocked. Fast break opportunity on the right-hand side. A bit too heavy and not quite collected. So again, a let off there for the Hawks, they're having plenty of opportunities to punish the Hawks, Warrington, but they're not quite taking them over the last couple of minutes. And that goal squeezes in just about. Important goal for the Hawks, back down to 6 again, but you can see it's taking a toll on them as well physically, this aggressive defense. Oh, and that's excellent play. Breaking through easy as you like by Hasmarais.
It would just be important for Hawks not to let this slip away before half-time. If they can just keep the gap within 4 or 5 goals, they'll give themselves a chance in the second half. Collins is back on and still playing. Bill Bailey's giving him probably a few instructions to take it a little bit easy.
Yeah. Right. Deals with that one nicely. But yeah, it's a very dangerous situation, you know, with 2-minute suspension so early in the game. One more and your day is over, and in a cup final, as you said, it could have a big, big impact, particularly with such a big player. Played out to the right wing, but there's a right-hander in there. No angle at all for the shot. Fast break chance now for Warrington. The space on the left-hand side, and here's Green, and he buries it in. The pace on that is incredible. So taking turns now on the left-hand side on those fast breaks. Deadly, deadly pair, Ed Irving and Nate Green.
8 goals I make it down there from that same area around the left wing there. It's really a gap they need to look at closing. Yeah.
Ryan Goodwin is giving his goalkeeper Jared James some instructions, but he couldn't do too much about that shot, to be fair. And the Hawks now play the ball across to the right. That's good speed, and that'll be a penalty. Oh, it's an attacking foul. I'm not too sure where that came from.
Not too sure about that either.
A bit of pain. Fast break chance for the Wolves, put away. And the lead is up to 9 for the first time in this game. And it's Michael Korf, who had a great start to the game, was a bit quiet then, missed a couple of chances, but he's got himself back in the score sheet. And it all came from that decision, which was, at least from up here, looked like a penalty, but it's at such pace, it's always hard to tell. And the Hawks will feel that nothing is going their way, particularly with decisions like that. Almost 24 minutes played of this first half and 17 goals already for the Warrington Wolves. They have been relentless in attack, and that includes them missing a few gilt-edged chances as well. They haven't punished them on every occasion, but they've done it enough. Ball into the line there, but the referee's whistle blew beforehand. Charlie Fletcher on the ball. Seems to get it frustrated more and more with this first half performance, and that will not help. Fast break chance again, and buried into the top corner once more. Nate Green is having a bit of a field day, a bit frustrated at the beginning with the man marking, but now he's getting plenty of space to run into.
He's making the most of these fast breaks. It's the team defence from Warrington which is opening up these chances, and he's getting out quickly and finishing these chances. And like we said, Coach Ryan was giving Jared James in goal some advice, but there's not a lot he can do about those ones coming with no defence in front of him.
Looks like Fletcher is down there. They're not moving as well. Hard to tell exactly what happened. But in general, just not working out for this backcourt, and it's so important for the Hawks. And it seems as well that they don't have too many choices to change as well. You know, we mentioned Josh McDade being the important player at centre-back. Dominic Barnes is another centre-back who's not here today for them. So they're missing out Jack Berry, who's pretty much the only right back in the team as well. And yeah, come back to haunt them a bit.
It looks like a young and fairly inexperienced bench for Hawks, and as you say, it's unusual for them not to have found a rhythm. They've played together for a long time. They normally have such a good feeling with each other, but they just haven't quite found their straps so far today.
McDade gets a bit of space this time, but a save. He goes for the near post, had plenty of space to shoot into, but double guessed. And Green now fires his way through off the other side of the crossbar. Rebound taken by a Hawks player. And it's a Hawks ball, a chance for them to break away now for one of their own counter-attacks. McDade goes alone, tries to break free, plays it out to the left-hand side, and that goes in. That's a lot better from the Hawks and Charlie Fletcher. It's exactly the counter-attack we would have expected to see them play today. They just haven't had too many opportunities to do it today. And a quick timeout called by Warrington.
No, with the onslaught of fast breaks from Warrington, they haven't had the chances to make saves or get stops in defence and go out on the fast break, and it's caused them a few problems because that's also where they can be quite strong. And it was a much better chance there, and you know, eventually found a goal from Charlie.
And in the build-up to this stage, to the final, we had the regional competition, which the Hawks won. As we mentioned before, they had 2 games against each other. One went the NEM Hawks way, one was a draw. But also in the playoffs then a couple of weeks ago in Birmingham, we had the Hawks really tearing through the opposition, with Ealing winning by 12 goals, and Carshalton, a team that, as you know too well, are always up there. Winning by 5 goals is a fairly good performance from them, whereas Wolves sneaked through their semi-final against the Ollie Cats. I think it was after extra time that one. They won by 2 goals in the end. You think, would you say, based on this first half performance, that the Wolves are overperforming, or they're just basically nullifying every kind of threat that the Hawks are usually so capable of producing?
I think that's the point. I think they've been able to nullify some of their strengths and some of their threats there. I know Harry Phillips is normally a line player for Hawks. He's injured today, but it's more the 3 back players haven't been quite able to find the rhythm that you would have hoped.
Yeah, I went off the post rebound though for Clough, and that'll be a free.
So getting that space outside the final defender there, yeah, with Nate Green going back up the court now. Ed's got plenty of space over there, and he's more than capable of using it.
It's very difficult for these 4 guys playing on the line now. There's so much space to cover, particularly with such athletic backcourt players as well that the Warrington boys have. Ball out to the left-hand side now, and he goes for it alone, and he just finds it. He doesn't need any angle at all. Backing himself over and over again, Nate Green.
His finishing's been good. Irving over on the far side there. Plenty of space.
That time, yeah.
Plenty of space, but it's both of them. There's 11 goals between the 2 of them out of the 19. They've all come from that area, even on the fast break, and possibly, as you said there, man marking the individual players is giving too much space.
Ball off the post, fast break chance again. There's space on the right-hand side, but they go down the left. Oh, and he forgets the ball behind him. It's a rare mistake in these fast breaks. It's still a 10-goal lead for Warrington. Now Hawks play the ball into the line, trying to force it in there. And you think with a bit more confidence he would have gone for the shot himself, but instead tried to force the ball into the line, who hasn't had any joy at all today so far.
It's very, very crowded in that area. They collapse on the line player so well, and they're so physical, so big in that area. It causes a lot of problems for the guys.
Dade manages to get it off to the wing, and that's put away. Important goal for the Hawks. That brings up 10 for them. They've cut the gap to 9, and they still have over a half of this game to go, and 9 goals is not impossible, but the way that Warrington are going at the moment, we'll need something big to change over the half-time break. And that's a good start. That's a penalty given as well. Not sure where the arm was taken, but the referee saw it. And that's just the most frustrating thing for a team and for a goalkeeper after making a save like that, to hear that whistle blow for a penalty. And that is no goal. Looks like the keeper wasn't ready. The whistle did blow, but the referee's apologising. Now I guess he didn't notice. And he'll step up again. Nate Green, this time he fakes it once. And he puts it away, second time around. And that's the 20-goal mark for Warrington. Double scores again. 80 seconds left in this first half. seen the last couple of attacks that Josh McDade has gone out to the left back, trying a different angle really to go in, because as you said just a couple of moments ago, it's so crowded in the middle. And he is a player who loves to dance and jig his way around defenders, but it's not really fun against the likes of Collins in the centre there.
No, he hasn't had much joy with it so far. But again,
much better. Shot coming in from Berry.
Much better when they get a bit of speed in the ball, a bit of movement. They look a lot better, and they're starting to find a rhythm a bit. And if they keep coming back with that, then their 9 goals could evaporate in the second half.
Just over 30 seconds left in this first half. Warrington can't really kill the clock here because 2 of their men is man marked, so they'll have to go 1 against 1. Draw the foul there. Try maybe set up a block for the likes of Nate Green to get a shot away. 15 seconds left. And this is actually working out perfectly for Wolves that the time is going down. Green gets the shot in, it's saved. 5 seconds left, fast break chance perhaps, long range shot. And that's going to be the end of this first half. And the score, quite a surprising score after 30 minutes of play in this men's under-19 final. It's Warrington Wolves 20, NEM Hawks 11. 30 minutes left to go here, but 9 goals against this Warrington team, who are so prolific, at least in the opening 30 minutes, is going to be a huge task.
It is. It is a big ask, 9 goals. It's been a frustrating first half for Hawks because, like we said a few times, they just haven't been able to find a rhythm. Maybe if Harry Phillips was fit as the first choice line player, maybe could have created a little bit of space in the middle for them, but Collins and Hesk, particularly on the left back side of the Warrington defence, have really been able to close up shop, and it hasn't given that extra option for the likes of McDade and Fletcher when they've been trying to break through.
Yeah, so we'll take a break for a few minutes, and I guess in about 5 minutes time we'll be back with the second half of this men's under-19 final. But at the break, it's Warrington Wolves 20, North East Manchester Hawks 11. 11 lead at the break. And we saw the Hawks boys, they didn't go to the dressing room, they just stayed in the corner there to chat. They are the first ones out on court as well. Classic sporting move when a team is losing at halftime. But what do you think Coach Ryan Goodwin was saying to the guys at halftime?
I think he'll want them to start moving the ball a little bit quicker and start trying to spread the Warrington defence a little bit. As it is, it's been a little bit too close. They're able to cover a lot of space in the middle because they've got some big guys in there, but they probably made it a little bit easy for them. And that's caused one of the problems, and with defence brings the fast breaks where they've really killed them in attack. So if they can, the best way to stop a fast break is to score one for yourself. So if they can get a few rolling there, we haven't seen Warrington so much in a set attack yet. They've been dominant on the fast break, and that's their strong arm. So I think they'd be hoping to force them into more set attacks so they can test them out a bit and try and win a few ball back themselves and go on the fast break.
Well, we've seen it in bits and pieces in that first half that the likes of Jack Berry at right back, Charlie Fletcher on the left, and Josh McDade are very capable of mixing it and creating the space and scoring from long range as well. I think the key for them is to just avoid that diamond in the centre, because that's where they're running into all the problems.
Absolutely. And I know, as we said, they're without Harry Phillips, their first line player. I'd like to maybe see them send a second line player in at times to spread it out a bit and play a little bit more with more width into the side of the court. But it is difficult when maybe you don't have the players to fit it through injury and other reasons. But it's something that I think could really help try and isolate the middle of the defence a bit.
Which of the three would you put in there on the line?
Maybe Charlie Fletcher. He's done that a little bit for me with the national team before. Jack and Josh are both good shooters, both good playing with a line player. Not that Charlie isn't, of course, but I think maybe he's got a good physical presence in there, which outside against one of the wingers he might find a bit of joy.
Okay. I will see what they come up with. I'm sure they've got some kind of plan to start this second half. 30 minutes left to play, 9-goal deficit. We've seen bigger comebacks in handball. We've seen it over and over again at this level, and it's a very high level, very physical and fast level as well. Goals can come flying in. We saw that at the beginning of the game, and we saw it really from Warrington throughout the 30 minutes. We know that Hawks are capable of it as well. I guess it all depends on how they can stop Warrington as well in their own attack. And we begin this second half with the Hawks attacking on your screens from left to right in the yellow jerseys and black shorts. And it looks like the Warrington Wolves are defending just like they did in the first half. There's no reason for them to change their tactics. One man out in the 5-1 defense, and as a spin past the defender there, a lot better. Bit of space for Josh McDade to run into there, and he showed us what he's capable of.
Created a bit for himself, a little bit wider there, and as you say, the Hawks have carried.
They steal the ball just as we say that. And oh, a bit too much resin on that one, I think. Bounced it into his own leg. And Hawks come away with it themselves. Balls flying everywhere. Fast break opportunity now for Warrington at last. Can he break free? He's held up. Good defending there in the fast break. After a bit of mayhem there between the two sides. Shot comes in, blocked down. The referees give a free throw.
Started a bit helter-skelter like we did in the first half, with everyone trying to push the ball, trying to maybe do a little bit too much too soon, and when the order of the day is settling down, and
looks like a head hit to the ground there. Looks like he's holding the back of his head, Nate Green. He's been probably the standout performer, despite the fact he's been man-marked in the first half. So if he were to be taken out, that could also be a huge blow for Warrington. Hopefully he's okay. With head injuries, you can never be careful.
No, absolutely, and like you say, it would definitely change the dynamic of their attack a little bit. It might close the defence from Hawks as well. We'll have to see. Hopefully he's okay.
After this one today, we have one more game, and that is the Women's Under-19 Cup Final. And that is between Stroud, who are both in the under-19s and the under-16s final. They're facing off against Olympia Canuck. And that one we have at about 5:30, so about an hour or so after we finish up with this game. And then tomorrow we have the under-16s finals for girls and boys, and then we have the 2 senior finals, starting with the women's one between the Coventry Sharks, who already picked up a national title this weekend. They picked up the very first one in the men's Shield competition. They face London GD, and then we have the men's National Cup final between the NEM Hawks, who are in action right here. They face off against London GD, who are the league winners looking to win the double. So Nate Green has gone off, his ice pack in the back of his head. I guess we'll have to wait and see whether he can come back onto court, but we're back underway. The shot comes in and it makes no difference, the lack of green at the beginning anyway, and Sebi Hesk gets a bit of space for himself and he puts it away. And it's also a chance for Ed Irving to show what he's got at left back.
Yep, and also young Tom Bidwell come on as left wing. He's been involved with some of the England youth squads before, so another talented player coming off the Warrington bench.
Looking for a bit of space on the right-hand side. Will he go for the shot? He does. Bottom of the post, and lucky for him. The second time lucky, though. Rebound taken well and put away by Jack Berry. Caught his own rebound on that occasion. Good following up. Down the other end. 2 in a row for Sebi Hesk. Really coming into his own in this second half. And the Warrington lead is up to 10 again. And that was going to tell us a lot about the way the second half was going to go, how the team started. It's no lack of trying from the Hawks, but Warrington are not relenting. Too many steps called by the referee there. They're not happy about that. Tricky call. It was a good idea anyway. Didn't execute it to perfection, and Warrington take it away. Second line comes in from the right wing, and they slow it down. Look for space on the right. They find some space on the right. Spin shot and into the goal. That is beautiful stuff by Sebi Hesk. 3 on the trot for him. He's on fire at the moment, and it was excellent, simple handball by the Warrington boys. They brought in the right wing in the second line, opened up a bit of space, as they had done so often on the left-hand side, now focusing on the right-hand side, and it's worked equally as well.
It's a carbon copy of what we saw in the first half on the left side of the court, but he's got off to a real fast start in the second half, Sebi Hesk.
The penalty earned by Josh McDade. And after the 2 misses from the penalty line by Harry Thorpe, it's McDade who steps up to take it himself this time. He fakes it once, and this one is saved and just kept out. Brilliant by Jack Booth. Double save for him, and Warrington come down the other end. Space on the left-hand side, and it's 2. He was going for the near post. It was too near in the end. Plenty of space there, and that's, while you're a left wing yourself, that's the one thing you never want to do, is miss on the near side. Another fast break opportunity. Nice pass there, but oh, just a bit short. The Hawks will have to go back to take it from the correct position. As I said, you're a left winger yourself, turned centre back now I think these days, but you played in your GB days on the left wing, and I guess you're more a man for the lob shots than the near post ones, huh?
That's right, yeah, that would have been, I probably would have been lobbing from there if that was me.
The Hawks playing the same passes over and over again, trying to skip past the man standing out, but it's not really working out for them. Trying to force the issue a bit, not allowing the ball to move. Plenty of space now for Warrington to play into. They go for the line this time. He turns his man and he scores. Abila Collins. In attack, he's been fairly quiet. They haven't fed him the ball too often. And you think that's what they'd be focusing on involving him, seeing as he's got 2 2-minute suspensions so far. But when he got his hands on the ball there, he spun his man nice and easy.
That's right, yeah. It was a clever play as well. He found the position, like you say, in front of the player. So Ed Irving just dropped it into him and was able to turn and score.
Gay tries to break free himself, but held up by 2 men. Running into walls all over this Warrington Wolves team. Pass there, attempted to the left wing, but it comes off the foot of a Warrington player, and over again, just as I mentioned, they're trying to force the issue a bit, not letting the ball move. Looked like he wanted to go for the shot there originally before passing it off. This time they do find the wing, that's a lot better, but another big save for Warrington Wolves goalkeeper Jack Booth. Excellent start to the second half for him. The goalkeeping from the Wolves has been great all day. That shot, not so good, however. And the Hawks have space on the line, but he goes alone and he gets it in. He needed to score that one. If he didn't, there would have been some words from his teammates, but backed himself, Josh McDade.
And there it is again. It's a save from Jared Cartledge in goal, and that gives them the field to go and run into, and they've been able to put in some really good play and create good pressure when they've done that and create goals from it. They just haven't been able to do it that often.
It seems that both sides are most dangerous in exactly that way. They're quite similar in that sense, but it's Warrington who have been able to pull it off more today.
They've been much better at it, and Hamza Rice at the front of the defence from Warrington has been a real crucial factor. He's got a lot of steals. He's been out there on the fast break himself, creating space for everybody else to run into.
It looks like Nate Green came back and joined the bench again. I think he'll be all right.
He looks like he's ready to go again, yeah.
Which is good to see. Not so good for the Hawks to see, I'm sure, but at this stage, doesn't really matter. It's an 11-goal lead, and they're managing to stop the goals at least. And a fast break opportunity now, and that's well put away. 2 on the trot for the Hawks. Cut the gap to 10. Harry Thorpe with that one.
I was about to say that Hawks or Warrington have actually done well without Nate Green, and there's another goal. Billy Collins.
Collins showing he can mix it up from the backcourt as well. He got a bit too much space there and just went for it. Big, powerful guy. Space there on the left-hand side and the right. Oh, that's unfortunate. Keeper takes it away. Another fast break chance on the left wing. They're flooding down the court, but the Wolves decide to slow it down. They're in no rush at this stage, to be fair.
No, the clock's definitely their friend with an 11-goal lead and just over 20 minutes left there. Like you say, they're in no rush at all.
Referee's called the attacker foul. And it has to be said, the Hawks' defense has been working a lot better. They've been stopping Warrington down one end. And that put away by Thorpe again, 2 in a row for him. So except for those couple of Billy Collins goals, they've stopped them. And you can see they're gone for the somewhat desperate defense tactic already. And if they can keep stealing balls like that, if they can cut it down to 6-7 goals, then we have a game on our hands again. But it's a big ask.
They've certainly been able to play a little bit more their own way in the second half. It's been Jack Booth in goal in the second half, which is
good interplay there between Rise and Corf. Shot over the top there. He had the space, but he rushed it a bit.
That's the type of shot you'd be happy with Jack Berry taking, but just hasn't been able to find the target too many times. Been getting into a good shooting rhythm so far.
Force ball into the line, a fast break chance now for the Hawks. Will he go alone? No, that's good defending. Very, very good defending. We still have a chance. Ball back into the line and put away. Good, clever smart play. Thinking, very clever. Good defending to begin with from Warrington, but the boys didn't get back to help afterwards. They almost let it be. We thought, okay, it's going in, we'll just wait for the ball coming on the other end.
It's been a good start. They are starting to find their rhythm, and we're starting to see more of their natural style of play, but they're not able to make much of an impact on the scoreboard so far.
Both sides trading goals really in this second half, and that won't be enough for the Hawks. McDade plays it out to the left, but goes back inside. There was space down that left-hand side if they could use it. And it's exactly what we were talking about just before the start of the second half, about width. You know, the one thing you want the players, particularly in the backcourt, to move outside. But in this case, they're running into each other a bit too much. And that was a prime example there with McDade beating his man, playing the ball off to the left, and then having his teammate run back straight at him. Space there on the right if they can pass one more time, but that's a good interception. Rice plays it off, but good covering down the back. It looks like it's still a Warrington ball, however, and it's a big save. That's important. Good save by Jared James. Ball out to the left wing and off the post, unfortunately. Oh, but it was inside. Looked like it was a goal in the end.
There's a
the referee already blew his whistle and gave the 2 minutes.
A lot happening there, but
looked like they could have let that go on. If they let it go on for another half a second, it would have been a goal. Nevertheless, they have the penalty. Dade steps up to take it. And he finds the top left-hand corner. Josh McDade having a better second half in comparison to his first.
This is his third in the second half. There's 4 in total now, and a few things starting to go Hawks' way now. 2 minutes, and this is the first time the lead started to creep down a little bit.
Ball out to the left-hand side, and that's a goal. Nicely put away. There was plenty of space on both sides there. It looked like McDade maybe overran it there, but he managed to get the ball off to Thorpe, who scores, and it's down to 8.
Good finish from Harry Thorpe. That's his 7th of the game as well. He's had quite an impact so far, and we're just in a perfect position here to see it creep over the line.
Nate Green being man-marked, so Irving is in. That's a nice little catch and a goal by Collins. When you're in doubt, just play it up high to the big man.
Has the advantage of having a fella in there of that size who's able to make the most of these chances.
Another shot down the left-hand side. That's a few in a row for Harry Thorpe. Very similar to what was happening on this side of the court in the first half. All the space is now coming down the wings.
So, and it's I mean, it was all about Ed Irving and Nate Green in the first half for Warrington. Neither of them have scored so far, but everybody else is really stepping up to the plate now.
Particularly Collins. It seems as soon as I mentioned that he hasn't been doing much in attack, he scored 4 goals, so he has answered the call. It looks like he's gone down with an ankle injury there.
He's holding his ankle, or is it a bit of cramp? I was about to say that he's defended with a lot of discipline in the second half as well, because a lot of the attacks, Josh McDade's been more prominent, a lot of 1v1 in the middle, and he could have been found out, but he's done a really good job making sure that he's he's staying on the court and he's not giving away a third 2 minutes.
Yeah, very disciplined, and he's back up on his feet, so I think he'll be okay. Well, hard to tell with the ankle injuries. He'll be brought off for the meantime anyway, but he's putting a fair bit of pressure on him. I think Josh McDade will be licking his lips now that there might be a bit more of a gap in the centre, or at least not so intimidating.
Imagine Tyler Lowe on the line is probably quite relieved as well. Maybe a little bit more space in there as well.
We'll see what they can make of this situation. 9 goals the difference. We've got 17 minutes left in this under-19 men's final. And the Hawks have, oh, that's unfortunate. Very good play by McDade to break free. But he couldn't put it in the back of the net. And every single chance has to go in at this stage for them. to be in with a real chance. Here comes Warrington down the other end, open up a bit of space, and that's easy as you like by Ed Irving. So composed and so relaxed when he's taking these shots from the left wing. He just waits and waits, and he finds his spot.
Definitely, he's got a really nice sort of action and a really nice composure from the left wing there, and he's picked his spot every time. He's only really missed one or two there from what I can remember.
So Corf is in the middle now with Green in the centre of that Warrington defence. Not quite as big overall, but still a fairly intimidating middle block. McDade loses the ball there. Fast break chance for Warrington. And that is put away nicely. Asmarais, he's always the first man up there waiting for the ball. So quick. He's done it, of course, that he's out in the number one and the 5-1, but he reacts to every single situation. He's almost gone before the shot is taken.
I was going to say that he's done a lot of good work winning some of the steals and in the fast break, but he goes so well on the fast break that even if there is just the one of the Hawks defender coming back with him, he takes their attention, and that's where we saw a lot of Ed Irving and Nate Green filling in on the left back side in the first half.
Oh, this doesn't look good.
I mean, it's two Hawks players down at one time, I think. Feeling a little bit of that early pace now.
Yeah, Charlie Fletcher signalling that he wanted to come off.
Looks in quite a lot of pain.
Yeah. Pointing at his ankle. Well, 16 minutes left here. Warrington have weathered a bit. There was a bit of a storm there, a bit of a push from the Hawks, and Warrington have weathered it well. Thanks mostly, it has to be said, in attack to Yabila Collins, who started burying in the goals in the absence of Nate Green. And now, with Green back in, it's opening up a bit more space for Ed Irving, and things are flowing a bit more naturally for their attack. But it's good for them to see that even when the first attacking choices aren't there, they still have the likes of Collins who can, you know, turn around and bury a shot in.
So I think he must have been telling Coach Bill Bailey that he wanted to play a little bit more backcourt. He's been showing him a few of his tricks, and himself and Sebi Hesk as well both stepped up with some crucial goals when, like you say, there was a little bit of a momentum starting for Hawks. A few balls were bouncing their way. They were scoring a few goals in the attack, and Jared James in goal had started to make a few saves. But as we say, they've weathered that, and they've in fact opened up the lead again to 11 goals.
Also nice to hear a crowd here today as well. It's been a nice crowd, particularly considering the fact that this is day one of the two-day extravaganza, and I think many people would have their eyes on the senior finals tomorrow as the go-to matches. But today there's been a couple of hundred fans in the arena, and they're making a lot of noise.
That's right, and even the Manchester Hawks fans over on the far side there aren't letting the result stop them. They're still cheering on as much as they can, and you've got a big section of Warrington Wolves fans as well who've made a lot of noise throughout the day.
We're back on the way here, and it looks like Charlie Fletcher is okay after his ankle injury. The shot comes in from the right back. Easy save for the keeper, and there's a chance on the left-hand side. Fast break opportunity. One pass needed. There's the pass, but it came a bit too late. They recycle it back into the centre. The space there for East, but he doesn't fancy it. Now that's much better, and put away beautifully. Good second wave of attack there by the Wolves.
That was
Adam Ahmed with the goal there.
Brilliant play, and as you said, the pass came a little bit late, but Irving came round, recycled it, and it was the second, third stage of the attack that we didn't have to see in the first half, but in the second half they showed they got the ability to do that as well.
Ball out to the left wing, no angle for him to take that shot, easily picked up by Irving, and they go in the fast break again. Irving and Green, space on the line there, easy as you like, big save, but a rebound back again, but he was inside. The referees give the ball to the Hawks, chance for them to break themselves, but Warrington so quick coming back as well. Their transition into defense is very impressive. one of the major differences between the two teams who have such similar styles in their counter-attacking as well. Referees are happy to let play go on there. Green with the ball, he plays it out to the left. Green again, one more pass to the left should do it, but he goes alone and he buries it in. He backed himself there from about 12 metres. He was going to go all the way through.
That's one of those he had to score. I think Ed Irving would have put a flea in his ear.
But it's such a nightmare for the defence, knowing that both of those guys are tearing down your side of the court, neither one capable of scoring.
Combined for almost half of the Warrington goals, and you know they've been a threat from start to finish.
Can't release the ball, and a free is given. McDade trying to take a lot of the burden today, and he's been doing well for the most part. There are times you'd think, you'd like to see him just release the ball a bit quicker. Because I'm sure if any set of defenders know his moves, it's this set of defenders he's facing
Exactly,
today.
yeah. Yeah, they know each other very well. Not many secrets between the two teams.
Ball goes Warrington's way again. Another save, another chance for them to build up this lead. It's at 12 at the moment. Nice ball inside there, but it's a save. Hawks with space down the right-hand side. There's the pass. One more inside, perhaps. Could have been a good idea. And it's going down the other end now. It's turning into a tennis match. And finally put away by Nate Green, showing no ill effects of his head knock earlier on in this half. In fact, it seems to have inspired him to take more upon his shoulders.
He's taking
the crowd a bit of a look as well.
Bit of encouragement, keeping them going, making sure they keep on with the noise. But yeah, 14 goals now. They've just started to again take control, open up this game with just over 10 minutes left.
Basketball style there, almost lost it a couple of times. It's exactly what we were talking about. There's not necessarily the need for him to go 1 against 3, because if he does even beat his man, there's 2 more there waiting to crash into him.
That's right.
A lot better. Ball out to the right-hand side, space for the wing. Oh, it's intercepted in the end. The shot comes in. There was space on the wing there, but unfortunately, unfortunately for Harry Thorpe, he's not a left-hander.
No, he's done a lot of good work on the left wing already, and just wasn't able to get a shot off on the right-hand side.
Almost a luck in there for Tyler Lowe. I think he hasn't had a shot in anger yet today.
That would have been the first look in he's had. I think it's the first time they've really been able to get it into the line.
Shot comes in, an easy save, but the referees give it back to the Hawks. Just under 12 minutes left in this one. 14-goal deficit. I think for the Hawks it's all about gaining a bit of confidence before their senior final tomorrow, kind of keeping this close, giving themselves a bit of pride against their local rivals.
That's right. As you say, another game's come tomorrow, and it looks like the game has gone a little bit now.
Rise slowing things down. They're taking their time, setting up a set play. Line switch now. And Nate Green coming in, looking for the shot. He does take the shot, and even though he's pushed, he finds the top left-hand corner. Excellent handball by Nate Green. Shows so much composure. He looks like a player beyond his years, it has to be said. And now the other end, shot coming off the post.
Frustrated look from Jack Berry down by the side of us here. Again, it's a good shooting opportunity. It's a shot you want him to be taking, but this time it's just the outside of the post that's done for him.
Just hasn't been his day.
No.
He's been taking his shots. He's backing himself, and that's important, particularly at this stage, to not chicken out of the shots, but just not going his way.
Warrington giving Hamza Rice a bit of a rest. Sam Dowling's come on the right wing, starting to give some of his younger players a bit of a run now, Bill Bailey.
Oh, too many steps there on that occasion. He fooled everyone, including himself. Lost the step count there. And with Ahmed in the centre as well, it's good to see him get a shot in the playmaker role.
Sebi Hesk as well has been very strong in defence. You see a tired-looking Charlie Fletcher now has had a tough old day. Charlie and Josh McDade both could be very dominant players in the game, and over on that side of the court, yeah. Sebi Hesk has done a good job in keeping them quiet.
Absolutely, they've definitely focused on that left-hand side of attack, and he's really kept them quiet. The fact we haven't actually had to mention him too much it says a lot about the performance. He's not been skinned once really in this entire game, and against the likes of Josh McDade, and then the power of Charlie Fletcher as well. It's a brilliant performance. This time he does manage to spin around, but then again he runs into the man waiting for him. That's Sebi Hesk.
And that's the thing about the Wolves defence, there is always one more person seems to be there. They help each other out well, they've covered the space well, and just haven't been able to create any opportunities to consistently to break through or to get good shots from.
Green looks like he wants another one there. He takes a shot, but it's blocked down, recovered. And he's free there in the left wing if they can find him, but they decide to slow things down and start again. This time he breaks free, and the keeper gets a hand on it, but there's just too much on it. Non-stop by Nate Green. I think with just over 8 minutes left, I think it's fair to almost give him the player of the match if we were to judge it. I think so far he would be my standout player, but overall this Warrington team has just been so good. Shot in there from the right-hand side. Again, not having a left-hander on the wing there doesn't help. Bit too much, it hits the referee.
He's been waiting to do that all season.
Bit of room there for the shot. That comes in and that's put away nicely. He was waiting for that one, Charlie Fletcher.
That was good from Charlie, and I've said it a few times, the type of stuff you'd expect to see from him, but they just haven't been able to find that rhythm and find that style of play that they've been so successful for. I mean, they've won the last 2 National Cup finals, just wasn't to be this year.
Pass inside, and that's a lot better. And it's the basic stuff just like that we've seen the last 2 attacks. The basic 3-person cross.
Could almost see Harry Thorpe saying there, why haven't we been doing that all game?
Exactly. There's a timeout called, I think, just before the goal went in.
A relieved look on Bill Bailey's face there. He'll tell Michael Corf he knew exactly what was going to happen there, and he just saved him. Yeah,
saved you, mate.
The experience coaching.
Let's talk a bit about Bill Bailey. He's been in charge of this Warrington Wolves team for a while now. Before they were Salford, and they've had a huge generational change, and it doesn't seem to, well, they haven't been in the top 2 in the league this year, but in general they've still competed.
That's right, they brought through a lot of these younger players, and Bill's been working with the senior team for the last number of years, and I think they've won the last 5 cup finals at senior level. It's been an incredible streak, and now he's dropped down to work with the under-18 squad, and it looks like another finals win for him. And there's some really good young players coming through here. I mean, we mentioned that they've just brought in some of the younger players on, and there hasn't been a dip in the game for them. Some of the Tom Bidwell, Ed Irving still got a couple of years left at this level. Adam Ahmed and Hamza Rice have got a bit of time here as well. Sebi Hesk as well. There's a good solid core of this team that will be here again.
I think after this they'll have their focus set on the senior cup final next year. In fact, they lost in the semi-finals, right, to London G League.
That's right, yeah.
So they're very close to also being in a double final this weekend. Shot comes in from Green, and it sneaks in. They're all going his way. This part of the game has been it's been the Nate Green show.
You see the look on Jared Cartledge's face there. He's not happy with himself. He
knew where he was going.
He got everything on that one. It just happened to hit off his thigh and roll in. He'll be evidently disappointed.
Where do you think the Hawks go from here? They've got a huge game tomorrow, arguably a more important game in the the grand scheme of things against London GD tomorrow. A couple of knocks today as well. How do you think they try to get over this?
They've got a few of the older guys. Ryan Goodwin will be playing, Steph Whaley, Harry Morley and Carl Barnes, who were with the under-18 teams the last couple of years. I think it'll be up to some of those older guys who've been there, done it, to say, you know, look, new day, new game. It's the perfect opportunity for them. There's nothing worse than sitting on this all summer and thinking, God, I want to prove what I did, you know, change what I did all this time, and you know, they get a chance tomorrow to go back and right those wrongs. I think there'll be a very young, motivated team ready to come out, and might even be better for them than winning it today.
Fast break chance now. Oh, nicely intercepted. I'm sure they won't agree saying that losing this game happened, but it'll definitely keep them hungry. And as you said, there's no better or no worse feeling than not having a chance to repent for it the next day. But they have a chance to achieve something even bigger tomorrow. It looks like Charlie Fletcher's really struggling at the moment.
He's put in a big shift. A lot. I mean, even like running back, chasing that ball, intercepted in that last ball, which it would be easy for him to, at 14 goals down, just to give up on that one, but not giving up to the very end.
Collected by Jared James, and now they can slow things down a bit. 5 minutes left. I think the focus for them should be really to go through the motions, go through the set pieces, the kind of handball they want to play tomorrow against a big and settled London GT team, a team that won't inject as much pace as they're facing today.
That's right, and that'll be a key thing for them in the game tomorrow. And we can see Harry Thorpe, he's taking a bit of control and trying to get that into them. Some of Josh McDade and Charlie Fletcher taking a bit of a breather, probably to rest them a little bit for tomorrow.
Ball out to the right wing, and a first chance of a goal for no, unfortunately not. A big save again. Jared James is definitely not giving up. He's put up 3 saves in a row now. Shot comes in off the post again. It's so unfortunate for Jack Berry. Post after post, doesn't matter what side he tries.
He has been unlucky. Jack Booth has had a couple of good saves against him. He's hit the post a couple of times, the bar at least once. It's yeah, not been his day.
Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent goal again. Just so much grace and ease in the air as well. Nobody coming up against him as well. Like maybe a bit of the tiredness in the Hawks team, but it's a bit of a field day for him, and he's not shying away from
making the most of his chances.
Yeah. Just over 3.5 minutes left here. I think the Wolves sniff a 40-goal tally here, which is exactly the opposite of what the Hawks want. So one little battle between these two teams before the end of the game. Nice ball into the line there. Oh, and it's wide to the left. Good handball. Unfortunate there. Owen McMahon.
Sebi Heskey, the last couple of attacks showing some really good quality in attack, finding the line there. He found the wing on the chance before. Bringing a lot of players and making a good right decision is a nice trait to see from a player of his young age.
Just doing things right,
yeah.
Both sides of the court, and I think must be difficult for him having on the left-hand side 2 players who take so much spotlight and probably score the more spectacular goals, but he has done everything perfectly today in defence. Like we said, he's been attacked at more than anyone else in the Warrington Wolves defence, and while he's attacked himself, he's scored some beautiful goals, scored a spin shot early in the second half, and he set up some of his teammates beautifully.
And he was crucial as well. It was him and Collins when Nate Green went off earlier on. You know, straight away, you said the guys on the left take up a lot of the attention, but as soon as they were gone, he stepped up. He was there and took on the challenge with some really nice play. So great performance from him, and I think a word as well for Harry Thorpe on the NEM Hawks team. He scored 9 goals. He's missed 2 penalties in that as well, but didn't shy away from taking them time after time. He's still out there battling now, and he's put in a really good performance today.
Again, and he's a player who, like we were saying about Sebi Hesk, that probably doesn't get as much attention in terms of looking at the overall goal scoring, but today he's really taken his chances, and maybe something for Ryan Goodwin and the team to look at tomorrow as well, to spread the play out, because the likes of Josh McDade knows nobody has to tell him that he's got very capable teammates.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, we've seen Harry playing left back, left wing, right wing for a short spell. He's a playmaker now. He's obviously a very versatile player who's, you know, done a lot of good work.
3 minutes left here in the Under-19 Men's Cup Final. And it's a clear victory for the Wolves, with both sides giving it their all. These last couple of minutes, it's going to be a corner throw.
A couple more younger players, Liam Brown coming on in goal for Warrington, and Jack Pryor making their first appearances. Nice experience for them with a couple of minutes to go.
Taking their time now. The Hawks trying to set up a shot from the backcourt. They do find the line, but held up. And of course, there was Tyler Lowe, who was frustrated probably all day in the line, probably looking out for the line players now to try and make up for it. He got the ball in there, but held up by that strong defense. And it says a lot that even without the likes of Collins in the center of the defense, they've still got the same attitude and ferocity. And there's, oh, nice save. Unfortunate, 2 shots there from Owen McMahon. One just wide to the left, and that one saved. You can see Bill Bailey telling him to shoot low next time. Shoot low, score high. Ball still in play for the Hawks. Shot coming in, and that's a nice save. But Liam Brown, as I said, coming in for the last few minutes. It's like too many steps called by the referee. Yes, indeed. They let that fast break attempt come to fruition, but nice defending there by McMahon. And we were saying earlier about their transition defense, and it's kept going right until the very end. He even ended up down the other end of the court to take the shot. He's been everywhere. Probably gave himself too much to do in the end.
Bit out of breath there, I'd imagine. Literally one corner to the other. But great enthusiasm to get out there. I mean, these kids will be floating playing in this arena with this crowd. It's a great day for them.
In the last 2 minutes here, it looks like Warrington won't get up to their 40-goal mark. But what do they have here with Jared James? Hawks, does he fancy himself? I think all goalkeepers fancy themselves as court players.
I know from experience he fancies himself, but
there from the backcourt.
He's thought better of it, thankfully, for everyone.
The gap down to 14. This should be the final attack of the game. Ball into the line there. That's the keeper's ball. One last chance, perhaps, for the Hawks to break and cut the gap again. You can hear the crowd counting down. 5 seconds left. Oh, he's going to take a shot. It doesn't matter in the end, and that is the end of 60 minutes here. The men's Under-19 English Handball Cup Final, and your 2018 champions are the Warrington Wolves. They've defeated North East Manchester Hawks 37 to 23. They started out their stall from the very beginning. They came flying out of the blocks, and they never looked back from there.
Definitely, they had a great game. Things went right for them early, but they earned the luck they had. Ed Irving was terrific in the first half, especially early on when they put a lot of pressure on Nate Green. He came up with a lot of important goals that would have maybe, had he not put Warrington under pressure. But yeah, I think the tail of the game was a good defence. They were able to go on the fast break, and there wasn't quite the rhythm and the consistency you'd expect from a Manchester Hawks team.
Yeah, we saw two very similar styles in some way, but the Warrington Wolves players just executed their game plan from the very beginning, and it felt a bit like the Hawks players were trying to force things from very early on. They felt the pressure of going down by 4 or 5 goals in the first 10 minutes, and even though they're just as capable of executing the same game plan, they maybe let it drop a bit, whereas Warrington were almost robot-like in their consistency and going wave after wave of counter-attack.
Yeah, it was a ruthless performance, and you know, it was impressive to see, you know, even the younger players coming on with the same intensity, same impact. Your Billy Collins was strong, made a big impression in defence. I think it was just started off early, one of those days for Hawks. There was a potentially important 2-minute spell when your Billy Collins went off earlier and they missed a couple of penalties. Warrington got a couple of fast breaks and probably made them feel like it wasn't going to be their day.
And a quick word on Billy Collins. We spoke about it earlier on, that he did so well in defence after those 2-minute suspensions. He really dealt with the very tricky situation, and you wouldn't blame Bill Bailey as the coach to take him off maybe for 20 minutes in the middle and then bring him back on for the final 20. But he stuck with him. He probably told him, all right, instead of doing this and that, you just take it a bit easier. And it says a lot about his teammates as well, that he was able to be a bit calmer in defence. His teammates helped him out, and there was no difference.
That's right.
Intensity.
That's right. And it was nice. It's nice to see a coach, you know, and maybe it's Bill's experience, putting trust in a player, and like you said, giving him the confidence to say, go back in, keep doing what you're doing. You've got to be careful, because it was a point of the game where maybe it could have been a big impact if he was gone. But, you know, he did very well, and, you know, maybe, as we saw later in the game, Bill had confidence in the younger ones coming in that they could fill in for him.
There's the Hawks boys, all looking very distraught at the moment, but as we spoke about before, they've got a wonderful chance to make up for it tomorrow. They can't ask for any more than that. And they showed in spells that they're very capable. They showed their brilliant handball skills as a team and also as individuals, but they have a challenge to replicate that for 60 whole minutes tomorrow.
That's right. Some of the experienced boys coming back in, some of the older ones will help them out with that, and, you know, like we said, very capable, and a team that will be back here. They'll feel disappointed that they didn't put their best foot forward today, but, you know, 2 titles and 1 runners-up in 3 years isn't a bad haul.
Absolutely. Well, moving on to the champions now. And I mentioned before with the previous presentation, it's great that they're getting these T-shirts. When I saw the Coventry Sharks boys wearing them, I thought they had bought them themselves and prepared to win the title. But no, it's a nice little touch for every winning team to get them.
It's a nice touch for these guys, and yeah, like you say, it'll be something that they keep on with, and I imagine proudly wear around their sports halls for the coming months and for the coming season.
So just a couple of minutes. Once we're finished with the presentation, we'll get a couple of words with one of the winning team, whether it be the coach Bill Bailey or one of the players, we'll see. And then after that, we have the women's under-19 final between Stroud and Olympia Cannock, and that one is throwing off at about 5:30, so in an hour's time exactly. But for the moment, we focus on the Wolves. All smiles for them. Nice end to the season for them. A heavy season, I imagine, for a lot of these players, playing so much men's handball as well, probably for the first time at this intensity, that much. And it's ended with an age group victory. And there is our player of the match. What do you think of that?
Jack Booth, I think a fair choice, really. I mean, 3 key penalty saves in the first half and start of the second half. I think he made a lot of impact at the key moments. So yeah, it's a very good performance, well deserved from Jack Booth.
And Nate Green gets his hands on another trophy instead. But yeah, you could have chosen 3 or 4. In fact, the whole team deserved it, and they do get the Champions Trophy for 2018. Your men's under-19 champions, the Warrington Wolves. they'd probably be thinking to themselves, we should be in that final tomorrow as well.
I think there'll be a lot of guys there hungry to play. A lot of them have got finals experience. I think looking at it, Nate Green played last year, possibly Sebi Hesk as well. So a lot of the guys that will be certainly eyeing it for the future if they haven't played in one already.
Absolutely, all of these guys have a big future ahead. Who are they calling over there? The big coach with the trophy. And you're someone who's been around this age group handball for a while now, and I guess these guys are the first real group of players who were around the Olympics in 2012. They were 13, 14 years old, really getting inspired to play, and they all probably picked it up around that time. Do you think that these two teams in particular, and you also have the likes of Carshalton, very, very good, also the Ollie Cats, these four teams, are they the best generation of young players that Britain has had so far?
I think we're lucky, I think so. I think it's certainly a wider pool of talent, a wider group that's coming through at the moment from, you know, people I've spoken to. A lot of people were saying that the semi-final games were of a high standard and a higher that they'd seen before in previous years. So I think at the moment you've got four teams there that are up there quite consistently, producing some good players. But like you say, I think we're getting more to the point now where we've got big squads of players where you're getting, you can bring the guys off the bench and there's not too much of a dip in the level, and starting to get that over 4 or 5 teams now, which is a really good sign.
Okay, I think it's time to get a couple of words from one of the winning team. Let's listen in.
Hello, I'm Rebecca and I'm here with the coach of the Warrington Wolves under-19 boys team and the MVP goalkeeper Jack Booth, who saved 3 penalties. So congratulations on that and congratulations on your win. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels amazing because Hawks obviously have not been beaten by any team in the north at the moment, and just to come out here and show them what we're about, it's a good opportunity to do in the final especially.
And also this is a big final for you this weekend because unfortunately the Warrington Wolves men's team didn't make it through to the final tomorrow. So did this spur you on to win any more?
Yeah, we just need to do it for the club, and if one team wasn't going to get there, the other team needed to win for them. That's really what it was.
And the second half was very fast paced, so how did you prepare for today's event? Did you just put lots of practice in? And
yeah, just lots of practice, getting the right mindset before the game, don't let it all get to your head and stay calm.
And just before you go and celebrate, I just want to know what's coming up for Warrington Wolves this year?
I don't really know.
We'll be taking part in the British and Irish Handball League Championships. That's our final chance for a trophy for the senior team. That's 3rd and 4th of June up in Manchester. So we'll play against the 2 top Irish teams and London Great Dane, which are our local rivals. So the focus for us now will be to get some of these under-19s into that first team and hopefully lift that first trophy.
Well, good luck on that and thank you very much for your time. That's all for me at the moment, but coming up next is the under-19 girls team at 5:30.